Hello, this is Hanumant. Now I would like to discuss with you something interesting regarding vehicles and the speed control system. We actually see many vehicles roaming on the road. Almost every vehicle have an engine control unit with parted with different types of sensors. Speed sensors is also one of it. The job of these speed sensors is to calculate the speed at which wheels of the vehicle are rotating. Yeah, it ultimately determines the speed at which vehicles are traveling. So, I would like to go to the further discussions and the working function of the speed sensors. Speed sensors basic function. When we look at the speedometer on the dashboard, the speed sensor is what helps determine the current miles per hour or else kilometers per hour. Meanwhile, the speed sensor sends this information to the engine control unit so that it can regulate other functions of the vehicle. Some of these regulated functions include ignition timing, transmission shift points, and air to fuel ratio in the internal combustion chamber. And working principle of the speed sensors. Speed sensors are commonly referred to as transmission speed sensors because they are connected to the transmission when the transmission is being used. Working function and principle of speed sensors. You will actually find two speed sensors in the transmission of each new vehicle out today. One speed sensor is called the input shaft speed sensor and the other is the output shaft speed sensor. These two sensors work together to relay the information back to the engine control unit. The function of the input shaft speed sensor is to keep track on the transmission's input shaft speed. The clutch connects the input shaft of the engine which allows it to turn the same speed, but the gears of the transmission allows you to reduce the speed of the wheels so that they are not always going as fast as the engine speed. This is where the output shaft comes into play because it is linked to the drive wheels and changes speed based on the gear you select. The output shaft speed sensor detects the speed of the drive wheels and sends this information back to the engine control unit. Here you can see the image of the speed sensors and the air gap output. This is the target gear and gear functioning. Here is the sensor placed which provides output. Together these two shafts allows the wheels to rotate at a speed that is manageable while the engine continues to run at a speed that makes it perform efficiently. This would not be possible without functioning input and output shaft speed sensors. Once the engine control unit receives the information, it compares the two different speeds of the shafts and then automatically sets the appropriate gear that is needed to sustain a smooth driving experience. For this reason, automatic transition vehicles do not require the driver to change gears because the process is done for them. This makes driving so much easier in comparison to manual transmission vehicles where the driver can change the gears themselves. Coming to the features and benefits of the speed sensors, it helps us to constant amplitude square wave digital output. It provides it. Reverse polarity protected view. Wide speed range can be easily grasped. Wide air gap range, customized for the most environment, not sensitive to the orientation, are main features of the speed sensors. Applications of the speed sensors. It is automotive. Regarding automotive applications, engine speed measurements, dynamometers, crankshaft. Electric power. Regarding electric power generator applications, motor speed measurement, turbine flow measurement, etc. Regarding exercise equipments, motor speed sensors. Many of the sensors like flow meter, locomotive, machinery, tachometer, off highway were also present. Now I would like to introduce electrical performance of the speed sensors and their technical specifications. Yeah. Coming to their supply voltage, its range is standard between 4.5 volt DC to 24 volt DC. For some optional sensors, it will be 5.5 volt DC to 36 volt DC. Regarding technical specification, the air gap between sensor and the target gear will be nearly 0.126 mm to 3.05 mm. And the speed range of the speed sensors working is 32 to 1000 inch per second. Regarding output signal, it provides square wave TTL CMOS compatible with internal pull-up resistor. And some optional sensors will also available with no pull-up resistor. The output voltage provided by the sensors is low. The low voltage it can provide is 400 millivolts and the high is followed VCC. Regarding output current, it provides 16 milliampere with its continuous operation, and some optional sensors will provide 50 milliamperes. Its output duty cycle is nearly 50% ampere bar plus or minus 15%. It modulates actually. The sensors are protected by input transit protection and the short circuit protection. Many of the sensors nowadays are provided with the minimum safety protections, and their operating temperatures are mentioned here. It's nearly 32 degrees ampere Fahrenheit, 38 degrees ampere bar Fahrenheit to 158 degrees ampere bar Fahrenheit, and some are provided with optional temperature working sensors. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.